All right, let's do this. This package has been sitting on my floor for like 3 days now, and I decided to go ahead and open it and do this little video, and I'll explain as I go along, opening the package. Now maybe I can zoom in so you guys won't see this junky desk of mine, because I tell you, my desk is tore up. I just have this little bit of space, clean space to draw. Let's zoom out. Or more, zoom in. All right, where is this? Killing precious time here. This is, you can take it out one side or the other. This is the canvas. What? Canvas drawing tablet. This is for you, Jermaine. You made me get this thing. All right, so let's open this up. And for those who don't know what this is, basically it's like a tablet. It's basically a drawing tablet that you can do all your drawing on. It's a big old screen tablet, and you have all your stuff to draw the actual picture on the actual screen. And I'll show you this in another video, me working it, but I have to figure out how to work it. And so this comes with the stand. I bought the one with the stand, so you can stand up and draw. You have your little pen, your pen holder. I think it's got extra nibs in here. This video is not about this. This is just showing somebody that I ended up having to buy this thing because he just kept on and he kept on. And who is it that caused me to buy this thing? Jermaine Webb, friend of mine. He's actually my first student that I actually had when I was teaching how to draw comics in a comic book shop. It was a friend of mine that owned it. So he was one of the first students, and the only one, to my knowledge, that actually went on to greatness in the art world. He is now what is it that you do? He is a graphic designer. I'm sorry, my brain is just out there. I just got home and this is live. He's a graphic designer, and we started a comic book company together. Me, him, and two other guys started a comic book company together until life ran us over with a car. But we were the only two that continued, but he kept kicking out his comic books. So I'm going to draw a couple of his characters from his book, Twilight, The Battle of Spiritual Warfare, and talk a little bit more about his book and him. All right, so let me rearrange all this stuff and start a drawing. All right, so here we are. I'm going to draw a couple of his characters and talk while I'm drawing. Try to talk while I'm drawing anyway. I've got my paper sideways so I can fit 3 people on, so hopefully I won't make it too big. And as I said, this is his characters from his book, Twilight, Battle for Spiritual Warfare. And four of us guys came together. We love comic books. We came together years ago. This was probably in 90-something, late 90-something, and we formed this little group and we put this comic together, comic books. And I think that was our mistake. The fact that we, instead of trying to put it all together, we all try to do our own titles. So that kind of messed up, because that the weakest link in the chain kind of thing. Can you see this? Because I'm not doing dark right now. So, but he went on to, as I said, become a graphic designer. I think he's doing some animation, doing a lot of stuff in art. He's got I think is it a bachelor's degree he might have, but he signed back up for college again for something else, and he is still rolling. So, as I say, I'm proud of him because he stayed with it where everybody else kind of like dropped off. And then life gets in your way, true. But, if this is something you really want, then you'll stay with it. He is over too far, but I'm going to keep on going because I'm being stiff, because I'm not wanting to move him over. So he did his I think since then he's did maybe like 3 titles where I did a couple of extra titles. I was doing the Samurai Clown at that time. He was doing that one, and the other 2 guys were doing some other stuff which they could really never finish because they They were more life. It had still parked its bus on top of them, so they couldn't really get anywhere. Not that they didn't try, but it's just that I guess me and Jermaine, that was our fire. That was our fire. The other guy, I think one guy was married, was having a kid, which will always destroy you. And the other one, he got sick and he died. I'm sorry, for Tony, but we tried to keep Jermaine did anyway. He did it. He ended up doing a book for Tony. He passed on a little too quick. He had that goal, but he got sick and he died on us. So yeah. But I'm not trying to drop the mood here. So this guy has a bow and arrow, and I'm not a bow and arrow type person because it takes a specific position to do that right, to get that right. You have your shoulder, you come down with your shoulder. This shoulder is going to be up more, like here, so it's going to be at an angle. You're not going to see this part of your bicep, but I'll put his hand like right here. So yeah, 4 deep. That was the name that we had chosen for our group. Because it was 4 of us, and we were like really in deep. We were deep into it, so 4 deep. But as I say, I think the mistake that we had was we didn't really combine. We should have just said, okay, let's just do this one book, and you write it, and you ink it, and you whatever. That way, it wouldn't be all on. It's a lot to do when you're doing a book because you're married to that book. That's your full time. That's your child. That's everything. That book is everything in your life. So if you have something else in your life that you have to take care of, a lot of times you're not going to get that done. You're just not going to get it. He wasn't married. I think I was divorced at the time. As I say, the other 2 were married. The one just had a baby. So that demanded, his time. His wife wasn't going to have him, going out because we had drawing sessions. His wife wasn't going to have him going out like every weekend and draw and, neglect the kids. But I think he's kind of still into it. Not Jermaine, one of the other guys. And I'm looking at this. I may turn this into a speed drawing or speed it up a little bit because, y'all. Because if you don't kind of get it right, it's just weird. And I actually I have a little bow. He's got a bow and arrow. He's got like a power bow, which energy kind of bow. So I had to pull mine out to actually pose to get these hands right. And these hands, it's like shooting a gun. You have to get that hand right. In that right position, should I say. And this is going back along with this arm. And this head is going to come down. Switch time. Right here, and right here. And the only saving grace is this guy's, he has clothes on. Jermaine wasn't a big costume type, put her on her type person. He was more of a realist. When it came to drawing and stuff, people, costumes, clothes. One thing that amazed me that he did one day with one of his characters is if you look at my hand is dark on one side and it's another color on the other side. And he did that. I mean, this was like years ago. And I was thinking, yeah, that's true. But, you know, I wasn't really crazy about that. But I mean, he was realistic, you know. And then not too long ago, Netflix came out with like a black samurai. And the same thing, he's black. And then his hands are pink, his palms are pink. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I can say Jermaine came out with it first. Maybe not, but for me, that's the first time I've seen somebody actually take note and go through the trouble to actually do that. All right, so that's kind of good. So he's gonna have the bow right here. I'm putting a lot on this guy because the other ones should be pretty simple. And then that hand probably comes down. And then I want to curve him a little bit more. Not too much. I don't want him to be flying, but this is going to take up the room for the other guy character. And my neighbor's got his little quad bike out. If you can hear that or not, I can hear it. You should hear it. Always when a man want to draw. Yeah, this is taking up room for his other character, but you know, I'll stick him behind. I'll stick him behind somehow. Balance. And see, that's what that drawing tablet can do. It'll actually move stuff over. To me, I call that cheating, but he was telling me about some of the things that I could do to make it a little easier for drawing. And it kind of hit me. I'm like, you know what? He is right. He's been right because he told me about Photoshop, and then what was it? The drawing tablet, actual drawing tablet you hook up to the computer. And I thought about that. I'm like, man, I don't need that. I don't need that. But you know what? As time went by, I'm like, you know what? He's right. I need that. So yeah, this is why I spent that $300, Jermaine. So okay, that body's cool. So let me draw the other guys here. This dude, the little kid. He's got a little kid. How did I say I was gonna have him? And that's one thing when you're drawing people, you have to be mindful of their bodies. And I'm gonna do a video about bodies types. I did one, but I'm gonna kind of like expound on it a little bit more. Expound, that's a big word, Brian. Yeah, I know. So it's gonna be like this. This arm is gonna be across. I don't remember what the kid's power is. I know the girl's a fighter, and he's got that little bow, spiritual bow. And it's a Christian comic book. It's a Christian comic book. And he told me about the main plot of the story, which was like, blew me away because I'm like, oh my God, that is just tight. I never heard of that happening before. The whole thing, the reason they had got together to stop this one thing, and this one thing to me was like, wow, dude, that's just original. And that's what you got to do nowadays if you are wanting to do books. You have to do some original stuff because everything now is comic books here, comic books there. So your story's got to be original. Everybody's got, you know, there are really no more powers that I can think of that you can actually use or come up with. So for a kid, the head's got to be a little bigger. He's not going to be so muscular, but he's going to have clothes on. And then there is a female. She is the fighter. And she is going to be, I think what is he, like maybe like 10 or 12 or something like that. And she is probably 18, 16, 18. So, okay, this, and then this. And let me go to a speed drawing to make it a little quicker for you guys, because I'll be here for forever. All right, speed drawing. All right, so now for the hard part. Getting him to look like his characters in my style, because his style and my style were very different. He loved anime. He loved the anime kind of American. He kind of wanted to do his own kind of style, create his own mixture of style. And since then, it has changed a lot. His style has changed a lot, because this was, like I said, this was probably back in the early 90s that we did our books. Just like my style has changed, his style has changed too. So he had more of the cartoony kind of a style. So let me show you one of his books. And yes, Jermaine, I still have some of your books, because we used to go to the conventions. We would do the conventions, and then if I left early, he would take my books, and if I left early, I would take his books. So yeah, I still have some of your books, Jermaine. So if you run out, I still got some. So yeah. So the hard part is dressing. So I have to flip through these. I've got a couple of. Yeah, I got a couple of your books, man. I got a couple of. I have to flip through these and check out their clothes that they have on, and then draw these guys up as best I can in my style. And then I will leave a link to where you can check out his books, or check his site out. On his site, he has all his books and stuff, and he does, everything, graphic designs, and, design, character design, writing, inking, coloring. He's a good colorer now. His colors were good, but now, since college and color theory and all that, the man throws colors down, and I'm like, wow, I never thought about combining colors like that. So for me, I'm going to step away and eat, because I just got home and I said I wanted to open that box, because it's been sitting on my floor for 3 days. And it's just going to be a second for you. For me, it might be another day. Who knows? We'll see. I'll be back in a minute. Second. All right, so here you have it. This is the finished piece. And as I said, I could continue to work on it to make it better or to mess it up even more, which I even kind of like mess up around his hair. I thought this part was black, but it's not black. It's a different color. So anyway, these are the characters from Twilight, The Battle of Spiritual Warfare by Jermaine Webb. And I'll leave a link to his website in case you want to check out the book or any of his other books that he's done, or maybe even hire him to create your website or logo or anything else that he may have the ability to do. So that's going to be it for this video. I hate when my pens and stuff just roll off the table and just hit the floor. But, you know, no complaining, no whining. I will see you guys in the next video. So keep drawing. And to all those people who send me comments, thank you. That helps, makes me feel good, lets me know that somebody's out there looking that actually cares to take the time to type something up. All right, so no rambling. See you guys. See ya. Here's my finger. See ya.